Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today I'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers Cyberverse Power of the Spark, Power of the Spark Ultimate Class Grimlock. And here he is in his, iconic dino mode. More specifically, as you can tell, a robotic dino mode. And this version of it is essentially a modern reimagining of his original G1. So yeah, this would be a sort of modern reimagining of his original G1 Dino mode. As you can tell, he has his G1 colors, the G1 style. That's pretty much what it is. Now, what do I think about it? I think this looks really cool. This is a very nice little update of his original G1 Dino mode. And since this is essentially a beast mode, I get to talk about articulation. So articulation, his legs can go full 360, in, out, swivel here, and a bend at his knee. And if you want a little bit of up and down on his claws and the back claw as well, but that's more for transformation. The head can go up and down. The jaw can open up to reveal, looks like a laser, or at least I'm imagining that's a laser on top of his tongue, which it might be. These are robotic dinosaur warriors. Yeah. And then his little dino arms, his little T-Rex arms, robotic T-Rex, his little arms here are on ball joints. So you kind of have him waving. It's adorable. I have no idea what these are. I'm just going to assume these are missile batteries because that's what they remind me of. And I think that would just make the figure awesome, in my opinion anyway. And then his tail actually can wag. So you have this little hinge here where it can wag his tail, which is cool. So yeah, he has quite a range of articulation for his dino mode. So you can actually get him in some pretty dynamic poses. The main reason why I have him hunched over like this is that if you try and lift him up a little bit, well, if you angle it, well, he's actually doing pretty good. You just have to finagle a little bit and you can just work with it. I had trouble where if I have him like in this position, he would just, there we go, he would just fall back because of his weak knees. Well, not weak, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so dino mode, very cool. Now, before I get on to his transformation, which I'm just gonna say it now is relatively simple. No, it's a fairly straightforward transformation. You just have to do certain things like in a certain order for clearance purposes. But before that, I have to show off his action feature, which is pretty cool. And unlike most of the action features of the Cyberverse line, it doesn't interfere, at least for my needs, it doesn't interfere with his articulation or his transformation. It's an action feature that I like. It's not in the way. It's very similar to his to the previous Ultimate Class figure I reviewed, which was the Optimus Prime one, which I also really liked. I consider that, I think, one of the best figures of the first wave of the Cyberverse. So for him, on the packaging, it's referred to as the Seismic Stomp, which makes sense in his robot mode, not really in his dino mode. And I'm going to show you why. To activate it, you have to press this piece here. This blue piece is essentially a button that triggers it. And it's in the tail. And as you can see, that's not really a stomp. And unfortunately, they didn't really give it a name. They didn't give this thing, this action feature, a name in his dino mode. It's just still referred to as the Seismic Stomp. So you can pretty much name this whatever you'd like. To me, it just kind of looks like a crystallized sword is coming out of his tail. So how about call this the Energon Slice? How about that, huh? The Energon Slice? Who knows? I think that's what I'm just going to refer to in his dino mode. Then you just sort of fold it back in. And there we go. So that's pretty much it for the action feature. As you saw, didn't interfere with the rest of the mode. It was just there. It basically showed up, did its thing, and went away. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was nice and succinct. And pretty darn cool. And also kind of fun to do, not gonna lie. So, on with our transformation. Which, again, it's simple, but you gotta do certain stuff in order. So, first things first, you have to come in here. and essentially separate this entire piece down. And you have to break this apart. You have to break this in half. So wiggle this. There we go. And then pull this out like so. And then you come in here. Carefully fold this out. It disconnects from like this joint here. So disconnect it here. And then peg these sort of spines into here. And flip out his foot. And then you just straighten out one of his legs. So same thing here, straighten out. Carefully snap that. Not snap, but you know, separate it. Disconnect, straighten out. There we have his lower half. Which is honestly, what I just showed you was like the most complicated part of the transformation. Then you straighten up and then you slide this into there. You'll feel like a soft click. And then for this part, you essentially have to angle this just the right way to give clearance for the arms. Fold them down, and then bring this entire assembly back where, well, this peg here will go into this port on the bottom of his chin, dino chin. You also have to like put this, like angle, hold on, angle this back. And I also like how doing this also fills in the gap of his chest, so like plug it in. And then this, you just gotta have it, leave it back there, or sort of have it against the shoulders. And then you straighten out his arms. Also doing this reveals his awesome head. And then you fold out his mighty fists, which in this version of Grimlock has like these essentially scale like daggers on them, which is really cool. Whoops. Good thing that didn't show off, because that would show off his action feature, his actual seismic stomp. So here we have Grimlock, Ultimate Grimlock in his robot mode, which looks, I'm just gonna say it, amazing. This is a very, very cool looking figure. Like they finally like I'm not gonna lie, this whole power of the Spark subline within Cyberverse, I don't know if it's a subline, but this new sort of wave of it has been really impressing me with the battle class, the elite class. And now with this new Grimlock Ultimate, it's honestly, I think I like it a little bit more than the Optimus one. And that's mainly because his action feature isn't as sensitive and trigger happy as that Optimus one. It's just, I'm thoroughly impressed with this. I really am. Both modes look fantastic, and the transformation is just simple. Like, you don't need that to be, I don't need a complicated transformation for me to like a figure. And from what I read online, like, I haven't seen the show, this mask, this head, is not his standard head. This is sort of a battle mask he wears during something called Eruption. I haven't watched the show, so I don't know exactly what that means. But apparently this is a mask. This is his battle mask. So that's not his normal standard face. So to show off his articulation, the head is on a swivel. Arms have the same articulation as his in Dino mode, because these are his Dino mode legs. So all around, in, out, swivel, bend at the elbow. If you really want a little bit of movement on his hands, which is really cool. You can get some pretty cool poses out of him. No waist, and now his legs can go this far out, forward, back, swivel here at the knee, and as well as a bend, a very nice bend at the knee due to his transformation. And a little bit of a toe wiggle if you really want to. And now, to show off his gimmick, the seismic stomp gimmick is pretty neat. Because in his Dino mode, it's a button to sort of have that tail blade thing, what I call the Energon slice or whatever. Patent pending, but to show this off, it's pretty neat. How it works is that there's these little triggers here. These pieces here are the triggers for his seismic stomp. So essentially the idea is that if you push him down or have him stomp, it'll trigger these shock waves. See? I mean, to be honest, I think the effect is cooler in his Dino mode, because you're essentially adding a blade to the end of his tail, or anyway, just making his tail longer. But I think this is a pretty neat, nice attempt. This is basically the seismic stomp. The idea is that he stomps down, and these are the shock waves he sort of pushes out. It works, and it's not overly, trigger happy, as you can see. You have to do it like the right. See? You do have to put some force on it, which I like. It's not too trigger happy. So that's very nice. So yeah. And that's, well, Ultimate Grimlock. And what do I think? I think he's a great figure. This might honestly be my, what'd I say? Yeah, this is honestly, I consider this probably to be the best figure in the Cyberverse line. That's like the best one they've released so far, that at least I'm interested in. Up until now, it would always be that Ultimate Optimus, but honestly, I think I like this one a little more. Just because the gimmick looks really nice in Dino mode. The fact that he has his action feature is different in each mode, I like. Although, it's a shame that the Dino mode one looks a lot better, because the actual stomp, as cool as it is a bit underwhelming. Like, if these were a little bigger, I think I would have liked it. But yeah, very nice figure. Oh, and for a size comparison, let's bring in Deluxe Ratchet and, whoops, Legion Cliff Jumper. Grimlock here is roughly the size of a Leader class figure, because this is a Legion Deluxe, and he's obviously bigger than a Voyager. But yeah, these Ultimate class figures are roughly Leader class size, but essentially at Voyager class prices, so I do like that. So, I highly recommend them. Like, if you weren't sure about the Cyberverse line, I do genuinely recommend this Ultimate class Grimlock, and I also recommend the Ultimate Optimus Prime. I think those two figures are really good, and those I think are the nicest figures in this line. Not only are they solid figures, they just look really cool. They have the articulation, it's there, and they have the size. These are Leader class sized figures at a pretty much almost half the price of a Leader class. Not exactly, but like close enough. So that is very nice. I find that does affect the overall overall score of the figure. So yeah, this is a nice figure, and I highly recommend it, both for, I guess, fans / collectors, to even as a gift to, you know, a young Transformer fan. Because like I said, the transformation is not that difficult, and it's just a very cool and sturdy figure. So yeah, final thought, overall, he's great. Solid, great figure. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Cyberverse Power of the Spark Ultimate Class Grimlock. This is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.